Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Love, Sex, Food. I'm Jigs.
And I'm Prema.
And we have been on a bit of a hiatus. We've been on a 7-week honeymoon stroke work
Away.
touring India. And now we're back in the UK. We're in our bed and recording episode 9.
We're recovering a little bit from jet lag, although we're bossing it out because we only came back like 48 hours ago.
Yeah.
And we're kind of back in the rhythm. We were even out in Notting Hill last night eating,
Yeah. Right.
getting our priorities right.
Like we miss sushi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I actually missed toast with butter as well. The simple things in life.
There you go. So on this episode, we are going to talk about our trip, our journey, but not so much in the context of what we did, but our relationship.
Yeah, because we spent pretty much 7 weeks with each other 24/7, living obviously in one room. Some rooms were super kind of cool, some were super fancy, some were downright grim.
Yeah.
Like we're talking showers that don't work, toilets with like basically in your bedroom with just like a small piece of cardboard separating you from the bedroom, so you have zero privacy. Traveling, flying, catching flights,
Luggage being over in weight, so we had to put it into hand luggage. So
belly.
yeah.
So, like all aspects of life, from luxury to adventure, let's say.
That's it. So I think the purpose of this episode is kind of really to highlight what does it look like spending 7 weeks with your significant other, your wife, your partner, your girlfriend, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever it is. And do you get on each other's nerves?
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be honest, because this is the truth, honestly, is that we did not have a single crossword in 7 weeks. In fact, if anything, I feel even more in love with you, more connected, more kind of, like unified in our vision, our passion, our purpose, our path, all of those things.
There was one moment where it wasn't you, but we were at a cricket match in Chennai, and we were about to go in, and Prema had 2 diaries in her bag. And for some reason, they wouldn't allow her to take her diaries in. And I kind of just didn't understand the logic, because it was like 2 small diaries and they were like, no, she can't take them in. So I kind of, what would you say? I kind of challenged it. It's probably the
challenged it.
most poetic
I would
way.
say you went off on one.
That's because I was like, well, these are personal diaries with her work and her personal thoughts in there, and they didn't have a place for her to put them. So I kind of lost my shit. And then it escalated, and I asked for a supervisor, and Prema's approach would have been a bit different, a bit more peace.
Yeah.
So she interrupted me halfway through my rant to some senior security person, and I abruptly stopped her. I said, look, please just let me deal with this. Eventually we found a solution, but I wasn't attacking Prema, but it was the first time where she'd seen kind of my temper.
I saw you in caveman protector mode. Yeah. For sure.
So I did apologize, and I think that was the only time where I personally had felt a bit shitty at the way that I'd spoken to Prema, because it was in the midst of the moment where that wasn't the right time for me to be then explaining to Prema what I'm doing.
Yeah, but to be fair, I recognise that, stepped away, and then when we kind of watched cricket, had an amazing time, had loads of fun. So that didn't put a shadow over anything. And then in the evening we talked about, like you were coming from the point of view is that I'm your husband, I want to protect you, I want to look after you, which I love. I love that polarity. You know, it's like a massive turn on. But then equally, as a woman, it's nice to receive that when you ask for it. And you kind of went into that, whereas actually my way is always peace, negotiation, creativity around solutions rather than say kind of going in. But I mean, you know, that was just like the tiniest thing around you being yourself and expressing yourself. And afterwards I said, like, don't turn down your anger for me. Don't turn down that primal instinct to protect and go for it. It's just that sometimes I don't need you to step into that. I have my own way of doing it. And so again, in that situation, it gave us the kind of the space and environment to talk about polarity, which is an absolute central aspect of our relationship. And so going back to kind of really over those 7 weeks, I would say that I learned even more about you. I was able to really understand your nervous system. So what makes you feel relaxed, what doesn't. And that came across naturally because of different places you were staying in. Like some places you were more relaxed because you like a certain quality and level of like standard in a hotel room. As you know, I'm not. I'm like Miss Backpacker. I can sleep anywhere, do anything, live out of a suitcase wherever I go. So I learned a lot about your nervous system and how to create an environment that really supports you and me together. I learned more about your strengths, more about our strengths together. One of which is definitely being sociable. We met so many amazing people, didn't we? We went out there knowing a couple of people. And then by the end of it, I felt like we had a whole gang.
Yeah.
And wherever we went, there was always someone who say, oh, hi, do you want to join us for a drink? And so what I learned about us is that we both really value like being hospitable, being welcoming, being sociable, and being very much in the flow of like, when you go out, you might have a rough plan, but then if, different people join, it then turns into something else. So they're like some of the general things that I learned from spending all that time together. Not about you, but together as well.
But I think that's a really valid point on why we spent so much time together and we weren't burnt out with each other. Because ultimately, I think if we had been together for 7 weeks, 24 hours a day, without any external influence or company, that would have been interesting, right? Because we would have then been in each other's pockets all the time. I'm not saying it would have ended differently.
What are you saying, like? What are you saying?
I'm not saying.
I've been waiting 7 weeks to have this argument with you. Let's do it now. No, I know what you're saying.
It's kind of, if you're both of the spirit and the mindset where you are always open to receive the company of other people, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's a dinner or whatnot, I think it just allows that flexibility in your kind of comms and in your relationship. I think it just makes it interesting. It just makes it exciting. Like, why does it get boring? Because there's no excitement. There's no,
I think it's adventure and spontaneity.
Yeah.
Because, like whenever we were going out, like you say, because you're very chatty and I am, if we're ordering a drink at the bar, someone's standing next to us, oh, hi, who are you? Like, oh, did I hear that you're from England? Like, how long are you out here? Oh, do you want to join us for a drink? All of that kind of thing. So that really works for both of us. But I think that's not for everybody. For some people, it would just be sitting silently together, watching the sunset every night. Yeah. But I think what it showed me is that we do completely have the same values and we enjoy so much of the same thing in life. And sort of everything got put under a spotlight, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because we also had to, navigate a few little like just practical fun challenges. I mean, we, as I always say, everything's a game, everything's a story. Don't get stressed. And we had a few of those moments, but we also had quite a lot of time on our own as well. Like when we went to this incredible wedding, Jigs' family wedding, we went and we didn't know anybody. So it was just the two of us.
Yeah.
And then whilst we were there, I was like, right, let's walk around, see who looks like they're a bit of a vibe. And so I was just walking up to random strangers. And so we, having little conversations here and then. But then again, we were on the dance floor a lot. That's something that I enjoy doing a lot of with you, dancing in all ways.
Yeah, you brought out, you definitely brought out a side of me that I didn't really knew that I had, and that's the Indian side, I think. Yeah. I'm like,
Are you out of the closet now? Are you Indian?
I'm Indian.
Are
Who
you?
would have thought, hey? Who would have thought?
I'll have to, for those of you just listening to Jigs' voice, you might be wondering if you've not seen a picture of him, but he's a very sexy Indian man.
I returned to India after 25 years. And the last time I was there for a wedding for 3 days. And prior to that, I'd been once when I was 10. So India for me kind of was what I saw on social media. And sadly, what social media depicts is not the true beauty of what India is. And, I can honestly say that I've just absolutely fallen in love with it.
And I'm very glad about that, because
yeah.
I was completely and utterly in love, because it's my soul home for sure. And it was a bit of a risk, wasn't it? Because India really is about embracing the chaos, the polarities, like the poverty and the luxury, the incredible variety of food, the traffic, the transport.
Everything in your gut tells you that you're going to have an accident at some point. But the craziness is that there wasn't one. In the 7 weeks that we were there, the cars driving up the wrong side of the road, people on motorbikes with young kids without helmets. Everything says to you, this is going to be an absolute clusterfuck. And nothing happened.
That's what I think I found really interesting, going to India with you, is our nervous systems are very different. I have a super chill, regulated nervous system. You also are, I think, really, really good at being present, but you also do have a little bit more you get a little bit more like activated, would you say, than me about certain things. But actually you blasted through that, and that was amazing to see. Because I think perhaps when we met each other, your nervous system might not have embraced it in that way. But it was fantastic, because that's the thing. When you travel together and you're with each other 24/7, you've got to be able to regulate your own nervous system. So if you get triggered by something, you need to have a little bit of space to go off and kind of sit with that. And I think that's why, you don't get on my nerves, because I actually don't get on my nerves. And that's an interesting phrase, get on your nerves, because it is all about your nervous system. So if I was feeling a little bit like, I need some space, I would just say, okay, I'm going to go and work down on the beach, and then you were working somewhere else. And then when we get together in the evening, it's like a new fresh energy comes into things. And then wanting to have time on your own doesn't mean that you don't love your partner. It means that you love yourself enough to say, I just need a little bit of space on my own.
Yeah. But it's also not taking it personally.
Yeah.
Because when you say I want some space on my own, or I've got something to do, it's not like, oh, is there anything wrong? What did I do wrong? No, it's like we all need our own space and our own time. And I think that is kind of just the what do you call it?
Crux of it.
Yeah, that's it. What would you say? What did India amplify in us?
Well, I think India is about adventure. It's about variety. It's about the senses. And I felt like every day, honestly, this is why I love India, every single day, this level of aliveness and adventure was there. And that's how I would describe our relationship. From the moment I met you, it has been one crazy adventure from our first dates in London, which were pretty wild and out there. Even our first date was very much in that energy of aliveness, spontaneity. Let's just do this. To me flying to see you from India. The way we just decided to get married and do everything, like every day we were planning something to make our wedding completely unique. So India is basically, I think, very similar to my personality. Also, it's very messy. Like, do you remember when we were sitting in that amazing bar Paladido, which is absolutely gorgeous in Jaipur? It's stunning, absolutely incredible. But then when you look very closely at anything in India, there's always a chip, a paint that's wrong, something's happened, there's something spilled on the floor that someone hasn't mopped up. That is me. Like, I look 98% like pretty like
Put
wow.
together, yeah.
But then when you look very closely, there's normally some food down me, isn't there? There is though. Or like if I've got a pair of tights on, there'll be a small ladder. Or if I put my makeup on, there'll be just like a little tiny bit of mascara left on my face. So I think that's why I love India, because it's a reflection of who I am.
I think there is, I mean, just the whole thing is that there is, I'm just perfection in imperfection, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's beautiful about it. Like, if you embrace that, then it really does regulate your nervous system. And I think I had to embrace that, because my nervous system is always about, because of my career in hospitality, it's always been about making sure everything is in the right place at the right time. And India is completely the opposite of that. So it was a real big learning for me. But I absolutely, by the end of it, I was absolutely cool with it. I think where I do struggle though in India was the chaos of not queuing. I think it's such a British thing that we queue and people just don't. And I got robbed many times by not like physically robbed, but robbed of being in the line because I was just too polite and too British. Then eventually I was like, if you can't beat them, join them. But that still is pretty out my comfort zone.
But bringing that back to sort of like, what the podcast is about, like, how do we spend all this time together? When you get triggered by that, I'm just the witness of that. I'm like, that doesn't trigger me. But you're not wrong for being triggered by it. There's no like going, oh, come on, you're in India, get over it. For me, it's always like, I always meet you in the things that trigger you, because if there'll be weird things that trigger me that don't trigger you, but I want to respect it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And I think that's a really important part of actually having a loving, connected relationship, is loving someone unconditionally. And that means that you are allowed to be yourself. You full self-expression. Like, if you want to get angry, you want to get angry. If you're tired, you're tired. If you're impatient, you're impatient. But that doesn't mean anything about the other person. And traveling, I think, really brings that into sharp focus, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the bloody 4 a.m. flights, I am not a fan of. But do you know what? We did it. I was respectful.
Fun once we got up, and also it saved us loads of cash.
Yeah.
So that I think that's the thing. Like, I love traveling. I love adventure. I've been sort of traveling on and off for the last 5 years. I've lived out of hand luggage only, so that was a big challenge for me. Like, having to actually check stuff in. Last time we were in Goa, so it was a very different experience. We were in one beautiful co-working hotel space called Palm House for the whole month. When I was there this time last year, I was in like 10 different places. Every time we walked down the kind of main road in Goa, I was like, I stayed there, I stayed there, I stayed there, I stayed there. And you were like, what?
And my nervous system is like, I can't do that. Like, I want to go in and I want to unpack my suitcase. I want to put my toiletries away. I just want that sanity. I do not want to be moving around, repacking, unpacking, repacking. That's just not my idea of.
Yeah, but that's why I really honoured that. when
Yeah.
we went for Palm House. I mean, I didn't obviously unpack my suitcase the whole time I was away because I'm used to never being in somewhere long enough to actually even open my bag. But that's the thing. Like, I think the really important thing, you know, if you're listening to know is that actually Jigs and I, we share a lot of same passions, but we actually also are very different in the way that we approach things, like really super different. We've just got brains that are wired in a totally different way. And some of it's because obviously male, female, but some of it is just like you said, like your background is, you know, order, service, everything looking amazing, high standards. And my background is raising 3 children under 3.5 in complete chaos with no help, really. And just having to surrender to the absolute madness of that experience. Yeah. So therefore, you know, getting up at 4 a.m. is a breeze when I had to get up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. for about 7 years with young children. So I think that's really important to recognize. I think the whole thing about this at the core is about your nervous system. Like you can't get, you know, love is having a regulated nervous system and sharing it with somebody else, to be honest, in its most basic, unromantic way.
We met a friend last night for dinner, and she was telling us about her new partner. And the one thing that really resonated was the fact that she said that he actually doesn't spike her nervous system, that he actually keeps her regulated. And I think that is such a crucial factor in any relationship. You know, I think if someone in your life, whether it's a friend, you know, a partner, whatever, if they actually don't spike your nervous system, keep them around. And I think that's why I've had partners in the past that have triggered my nervous system. So now with Prema, I think it's kind of like, I don't think I've had my nervous system triggered once.
Very, very early on, there was that just that one time when I messaged you and said, I need to talk to you about something. And you were like, shit, there's something bad's about to happen. And you just withdrew a little bit. And there was like this kind of like space where I knew you'd step back. So I didn't want to step forward. And I just had to wait in the void until you came back. And when you came back, you were just like, look, actually, I was worried about this, I was worried about that from your message. And then when you realised that there was nothing there, I think that was actually a bit of a quantum leap in our relationship. That you know, you can, that I wasn't going to go away, run away, do anything when you need to take time for yourself. And and that's never ever, apart from that one time, that's never happened again. You actually know me so well that you read my energy constantly in a way that I didn't even think could be possible by another human being. That's part of why I don't think we ever argue.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't let it get to an argument. I think argument, if we didn't converse, if we didn't understand the subtle emotional cues, or really understand each other emotionally, then we wouldn't pick up on something that could not be right. Therefore, it then just escalates into something else. But
yeah. Can I just talk about magic just for 1 second? Because this is Love Sex Food.
Yeah.
And we know that magic is real and love wins.
Love wins, yeah.
So one of the real, like, little emotional moments, there was many on the trip, really. But you know, I'm so into my 360s.
Yeah.
So I love to revisit situations which perhaps I was there another time and I wished I intentionally manifested a beautiful kind of result from whatever it was I wanted there. And one of those times was when I was in Jaipur last year. So I, obviously, if you follow us, you'll know I flew to see Jigs in Malta. When I was in Goa, I'd only been there about three weeks, and I decided that I wasn't going to wait 3 months to see him. So I decided to fly all the way to Malta, 17 hours for our 5th date. And the night before I actually went to fly, I was in Jaipur with my beautiful friend Dory. We went to this insanely gorgeous bar called Bar Palido, which I just mentioned. Fantastic. Go if you're ever in Jaipur. And I sent Jigs a video of me there saying, wow, this place is insane. You would love it. So you're seen. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'm getting on the plane. I was so excited. And I said, I can't wait to bring you back here next year. And I filmed it out in the garden and I sent it to him. And then when we arrived this year together, pretty much around the same time that I did it last year, you went off to the loo, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then I looked back on our WhatsApp messages and I found the video that I sent to you, and I sent it to him when he was in the loo. And then when you came out, you had been all like teary, hadn't you? Because
I was like, God, you make me cry all the time. Not in a bad way, but I came out the toilet, obviously where I do my best thinking, having watched the video, and I was like sobbing. Yeah, that was a beautiful 360.
Because we, you know, and then you recorded a video, which I haven't posted yet, sort of saying, you know, this is what I'm saying, magic is real and love wins. Jigs was there with me virtually 1 year to the date as my husband. And at the point that I did it last year, we'd been on 4 dates in London, and I was about to make one of the craziest decisions in my life to fly all the way to see you to go to Malta. So what I'm going to say is, like, trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your gut. If you feel safe and you feel excited and you only get one chance to live your life, and that moment is here and now, whatever's happened in the past, if you've made crazy decisions and they've gone wrong, forget about it, let that go. If you are scared about what might happen in the future, don't worry about it, because that might never happen, but you're here now. So follow the excitement, make big, bold choices and just go for it. Because
live in the moment.
Yeah, because now our trip to India has filled us up with excitement, purpose, path, just a whole new way of living, which, you know, is developing now. I'm not going into that too much at the moment, but this one trip, I think, has created probably the biggest transformation in my life, other than having my kids.
Yeah. And we've only been married for 2 months and 10 days right now.
I know, but that's just in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh yes, by the way, should we tell them
what
about our tattoos?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a bit bad to actually say, should we tell them about our tattoos when they're actually listening?
Yeah.
Because if you said no,
well, got no bloody choice, have we? Yeah. So we've never had any ink on us, and at the age of 48 and 51, we got tattoos.
You got inked up.
I got Prema's name in Sanskrit on my right arm underneath my bicep. And
looks very sexy. And I got Jigs' name on my left side by my heart in Sanskrit as well. And we really didn't know what to. We wanted to get a tattoo. We wanted to get a tattoo together. I've never wanted a tattoo. I don't really get them so much because I've never, even with my kids, I've thought to myself, like, there's nothing I actually want to have on my body, because my body is constantly changing and developing, and I'm constantly changing and developing. And it's like putting a timestamp, if you like, on your body at a certain time. And I've never been so sure about anything than getting this tattoo with you.
But also the guy that we found randomly, we were on the hunt for lunch, and we walked past this beautiful, clean tattoo shop. So we thought we'll quickly pop in. We ended up having a half an hour conversation with this chap who convinced us, well, not convinced us, but kind of, I think he said something really, really profound. And he was like, when you get your tattoo done, that is a timestamp.
Yeah.
And if you ever look back at it, you should always look back at the time that you got it done, how you felt and what the motivation was. And he goes, because if you get it done now, there's obviously lots of positives on why you're getting it done. So never think of it as a bad thing. Just think of it as a timestamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we got ourselves booked in. We didn't have lunch, and now we've returned to the UK with tattoos.
Yeah. And mine was on apparently the most painful part of the body.
The ribs,
And your name is significantly longer than mine, which means that I'm a badass.
You are.
And I went first as well.
And you went first.
Didn't I? Yeah. But that was good. But I mean, the thing is, the part of the reason why I really wanted to get your name tattooed on me, and this is the truth, and it's very woo, but I'm just going to say it anyway, is that I'm utterly convinced that we've met each other in other lifetimes. And we have this joke that this lifetime it was hide and seek, and Jigs did a really good job, and we were like, next time round, that's not going to happen. So let's make sure that we have this tattoo, which means that we can recognize each other next time round. So it was really sentimental. And when we were that night that we decided what to have, we were sitting eating butter chicken in some like a little local restaurant.
Yeah.
I said, I've got the tattoo. And then I just had got your name in Sanskrit, and I put it on my phone. I said, "It's that," and you couldn't read what it was, obviously.
Even though I did learn Sanskrit at school, obviously I don't remember any of that. So
I mean that's just one. I'd actually forgotten about the fact we had tattoos, because literally every single day there was something really cool and amazing happening. So I'm sort of super grateful for this time with you. I don't, freedom, time are two of my top love languages.
Also, we did our first LoveSexFood.
Oh yeah, God!
Supper club.
Oh my God, I've forgotten about that as well.
In Goa as well, so that was incredible.
Yeah, that was amazing. And then surprise date night for our first anniversary.
Yeah, that was
Going to Oroville, the amazing city. That was amazing. Just so many things. That breath work. I mean, honestly, we probably should have done a LoveSexFood podcast every single day, because there was something super cool going on. But the best news for everyone listening is that next year we will be holding a LoveSexFood retreat in Goa. Yeah. That's for sure. In either January or February. So details to come of that. So if you want to experience the magic of Goa and the magic of India, and you are a couple, or maybe you're just looking to find like-minded people, because that's what LoveSexFood is about. The supper club that we had there was just kind of for anyone who was a little bit of a maverick to come together and just have great conversation over amazing food and enjoy fantastic company.
Where can I sign up?
Well, you've got to be there.
I got to be. Okay.
You're one half of LoveSexFood.
I got to be there.
So anyway, more details coming, but just to seed that for you now. If you feel really excited about that, reach out and get in touch. But there'll be lots of Jigs cooking and amazing food. We
have a beautiful location stroke property that we have in mind. So it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So more news of that coming soon. So we've made a little vow that we're going to try and do one podcast episode a week. Now we're back in London, because I think we did one in 7 weeks when we were away.
Yeah.
Which, that's because we're having a really good time. But we missed you guys, so we're back now, and we're trying to hold each other accountable, even though we are the worst people at doing that. It's like two people with the worst ability for accountability together in a marriage. But in all the things that we don't do, we always find the things that we love.
Yeah. So so it works out.
Yeah, but we just get fat.
Mm.
Well, I am.
No, actually, we didn't put on any weight.
I don't know how. I'm going to reweigh myself because I think those Indian scales
The
must have
Dutch.
been lying.
They've not been calibrated, yeah.
We definitely lived the high life because the restaurants are insane and the cost of everything. We won't get onto the cost of everything, but put it this way: you can have the most incredible meal for less than sort of £30, can't you?
Yeah,
For
for two
two, with
people.
booze and all the trimmings in insanely beautiful locations with the best service in the world. So I'm very, very grateful for every person who cooked for us and served us in India and looked after us, and
Yeah.
feel very grateful for all of that. Very beautiful country, my favorite country in the entire world.
I think it's up there for me now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's us done for this episode today. Let us know what you feel from that. You can follow us on social, LoveSexFood. Obviously, we're on Instagram. We're on Spotify. YouTube. There you can join our WhatsApp group, which is in the link in our bio in Instagram as well, if you want to hear more details of our up-and-coming retreat. And yeah, we are sending you all the love from sunny Greenford.
Yeah. So until next time, thank you for joining us on Love, Sex, Food. Take care.